My name is Sarah, and I'm a life coach, and I help people get unstuck in their lives and live their most creative lives. So if you're feeling stuck in your life, then you're going to want to stay tuned for today's video. Okay, so we're going to talk about creativity today, and we're going to talk about a couple of tricks that you can use to get unstuck in your life and to live a more creative life. Step one is figuring out what you're good at. Figuring out what lights you up. So there are two ways you can do this. One is to look back in your childhood and figure out what it was, if there were things in your past that lit you up and brought you joy. So for me, and applying them to your daily life now. So one example for me is I own a plant shop now, and that plant shop came from an early interest in life in plants. When I was a kid, my mother she loved to garden. We lived in a pretty rural town, and my mom had a piece of property and it had a garden, and I used to pull the cat into my garden, and I would sit as a toddler among all the fresh vegetables and herbs, and I would rock the cat in my arms and I would sing to it. And that childhood memory is what I link to owning a successful plant shop today. Was an interest in plants from a long time ago. So that's one way, is look back in your past and try and figure out something that sparked joy then and see if it sparks joy now as you're an adult. The second way you can figure out what you're passionate about is to try spending some time with yourself each week, going on maybe a date with just yourself, and notice what comes up for you. So we can use the plant business example as an example. So I did get away from plants in when we moved up to the town we live in now, which is more like a suburb. I kind of lost touch with plants, but I came back to it through an artist date that I went on. For disclosure, in 2019, I worked my way through a book by Julia Cameron called The Artist's Way, and I'll reference that a lot in my videos, but because it was really impactful for me. But one of her mechanisms or tools that she uses is going on an artist date every week. So I made some time and started doing this. And one of the artist dates that I went on was a succulents and wine Galentine's Day event. And that sparked that childhood memory of being involved with plants in the garden and singing to the cat and really just enjoying nature, to just a couple years ago, right before the lockdown happened. And going on the date, I started to notice, oh, these plants are pretty cool. I brought home a box of succulents, and I spent time nurturing them, and that grew into me getting more into plants. And going on that date, I wouldn't probably have a plant shop today had I not made time to spend time with myself and just finding something that I was interested in, finding something that I was passionate about. So whether it's from your childhood or if it's in your current daily life, just try it, go on the date, look back in your life, whatever it is, just try it and do it. I promise you, something will come up that you are passionate about if you just are willing to try and, sorry about the dogs, and are willing to look. Being curious is really important here. The second step that I have for building creativity is actually repetition. And I know you're thinking repetition, like, okay, that's kind of boring. Yeah, but whatever you figured out in step one as something that you are passionate about, chances may be good that you're passionate about it, but you may not be great at it yet. So you want to practice whatever it is that you selected and do it over and over and over until you can do it on autopilot, and then you've kind of gotten to a level where you're comfortable, confident, and you've mastered it. And then maybe you can turn it into something else or figure out how to play with it. So for me, I started with this love of plants, and my collection grew, and I have to figure out how to care for those plants. And each plant has different care needs depending on what kind of plant it is. So that required a lot of research on my part. And it required repetition with getting a watering schedule going, how to fertilize plants. It required me learning how to care for those plants. And eventually I was able to open my own business about a year later, where I have my own plant shop online. So, but I wouldn't have been able to do that and play that way in that space had I not started with just learning how to take care of my plants. So whatever it is you're passionate about, whatever it is that you're passionate about, make sure that you are practicing it and learning more about it so that you can build mastery in your craft, and then you can learn how to play with it a little bit, take it to the next level. Once you've spent time practicing your craft, doing the repetition, you're going to want to put yourself out there. And I'm going to combine that with failure, because you're going to put yourself out there, you're going to fail no matter what it is. You're going to, in my case, you're going to kill a plant, and you learn from whatever happened, and then you repeat it. Really, it gives you a chance to put yourself out into the world, see what other people are doing, see if what you're doing sticks. It gives you a chance to learn from what you've done. And it also just gives you goals to reach for, and you can keep taking your A game to the next level and the next level. You start out easy, and eventually you take baby steps and you work up towards something harder, like I said with my plants, starting just with a box of succulents and then expanding a collection and learning about it, and then opening a business around it, and then learning how to run that business around the thing that I'm passionate about. And then that teaches you, that puts me out in the world with my plants, and I send them to people when they buy them. And then other people have a chance to learn from my work. They have a chance to take a plant that I've cared for and take it into their lives, and then they get value from it. So you're putting yourself out there in the world as a way of service, of providing a service to somebody, which is very valuable. If you have any tips for creativity, or how creativity has impacted you in living your best life, leave a comment down below. We would absolutely love to hear from you, and we can all learn from each other. That's one amazing thing about the connected world that we live in today, is that we can all learn from each other and we can build a community. The last tip I want to share with you is comparison with other people. And I'm going to tell you, do not compare yourself with other people, because it only will set you back. It creates fear, and fear will make sure that you don't show up to whatever it is that you're doing. So like a step for that would be getting off of social media. For an example, there's a lot of comparison with other people that goes on in social media, like Instagram and and Facebook. And that can be really hard for you as a creative, because you're comparing yourself with other people, and you become afraid to put your work out there. Just make sure that you're not killing your creativity with comparison, because comparison will, like I just said, is and I'll do my little action, creativity killer. It really is. It just trumps creativity, because it makes you afraid, and it makes you afraid to put yourself out there. I'll give you an example with my plant business. So I have like an Instagram account for my plant business, and I have a lot of plant people that follow me and that I follow. but I don't really go on there that much because I find when I go on the page, if I'm not using it for business and I'm just scrolling, I start comparing myself to, oh, I don't have that plant that this person has, or oh, maybe I should have these plants, or whatever it is. I find myself comparing my business with other people's businesses, and that's not cool because it's not, my business could be totally different from somebody else's and like the kinds of plants that we sell. So avoid comparing yourself with other people so that you keep going. And one way to do that is to stay off of social media. Even if it's just for a time, just give it a try, because you'll find that you will have, if you delete social media for say a week, you'll have a lot of time on your hands, and you can use that extra time to put it towards some of the other steps that we've talked about today. You'll have so much time to focus on your craft, find whatever it is that you're passionate about, practice it, and you'll feel better as a result because you're not comparing yourself with other people. You're not coming from a place of fear. You're operating from a place of confidence, and you have a lot of time now to work on your craft. So those are my tips for successfully living a creative life. So like we said, the first one, just to sum up, the first one, finding something you're passionate about, whether you look into your past or schedule some time with yourself to figure out whatever that thing is, then building repetition to do whatever the thing is so that you can get to a point of mastery, putting yourself and your work out into the world, expecting to fail, knowing that you're going to fail, hoping that you'll fail, and being grateful for the lesson that you can learn from that failure so that you can keep repeating and keep getting better. And eventually you'll be able to play outside the lines, which is the ultimate goal, right? And then the last one, like we said, was not comparing yourself with other people and using social media, getting off of social media as a way of doing that, of not comparing yourself with other people so that you can keep going. And if you do keep going, you will, like I said, get to a point where you've reached a level of mastery where you're creative, where you've reached a level of mastery where you're comfortable and confident. And then you've set some goals, and now you've got a place to come from so that you have a place to get to. So you can figure out where you want to go next with whatever it is that you're working on. So like for me and my plant business, I'm not sure yet where I want to take the business yet, but I keep showing up for it. I keep shipping out plants when they sell. I keep my plant collection alive. I'm figuring out what I like to grow and what I don't like to grow. And eventually I'll be able to play outside the lines. Learning the rules and then learning how to break the rules is where you will find the creativity, and where you will find the creativity lies is once you've mastered the thing, you'll be in a state of flow where you don't have to constantly think about it. Am I doing this right? You're doing it right. And then you have confidence to take it to the next level. I hope that this video was really helpful for you. If you have any tips or tricks for living your most creative life, please leave them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's video and found value from it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every time we upload a video, and leave a comment in the comments down below so that we can connect. And if you are looking to connect on a deeper level, why not schedule a time to meet with me? So I have a life coaching business, and you can schedule a time to meet with me at SarahDaltonCoaching.com. I'll leave a link to my calendar on my website below, so you can click on it and schedule a 30-minute call to meet with me. Or you can, like I said, leave a comment down below, or you can email me at sarah@SarahDaltonCoaching.com, and we can have a conversation there. So email me, leave a comment down below, or schedule a time to meet with me so I can help you in your life, live your most creative life, and help you get unstuck so that you can move on to what it is that you're passionate about and just live your best life possible. And that brings us to the end of the video. And I just wanted to say that I hope you have a great day and thank you for tuning in. Bye.